In the tapestry of human civilization, stories have been the threads binding our experiences, dreams, and wisdom. Across continents and cultures, folk tales have not only entertained, but have served as a mirror, reflecting the deepest values and the timeless questions of the societies that birthed them. Today, we embark on a global odyssey, journeying through the ancient pathways of imagination and lore. From the mystical lands of China with the magic paintbrush, to the sacred deserts of Aboriginal Australia with the rainbow serpent. Each tale a beacon, illuminating the rich diversity and the shared humanity within our global village. Join us on this enchanting exploration of folk tales from around the world, where myth meets meaning and legends come to life. Welcome to TopThangs. Dear viewer, we hope you enjoy this fascinating journey, as much as we loved putting it together for you. Hit like, share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome stories. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Your thoughts inspire us to keep pushing the boundaries of entertainment. Now get comfy and let's dive in. Imagine a world where a simple paintbrush can bring anything to life. Deep in the heart of ancient China, there lived a humble boy named Ma Liang. Despite his poverty, Ma Liang had a golden heart and an extraordinary talent for painting. His life took a magical turn when he received a paintbrush with a unique power. Whatever Ma Liang painted came to life. However, his magical gift didn't remain a secret for long. A local wealthy man, driven by greed and corruption, attempted to seize the magic paintbrush. But he underestimated Ma Liang's cleverness. Instead of surrendering his precious paintbrush, Ma Liang used it as a weapon against the man. He painted scenes that turned the tables on the greedy man, outsmarting him at every turn. His courage and wit not only protected his gift, but also saved his village from the clutches of the corrupt man. And so, Ma Liang used his magic paintbrush to paint a better future for his village. Cultural context. This Chinese folktale reflects the traditional Chinese values of kindness, humility, and the wise use of power. The story centers around a poor boy who receives a magical paintbrush that brings whatever he paints to life. He uses it to benefit the poor and the needy, not for personal gain. The theme of a humble hero using a magical gift for the greater good is a common motif in Chinese folklore, embodying the Confucian ideals of righteousness and altruism. Variations. The tale has been retold and adapted in various forms, including children's books and cartoons. Some versions emphasize different aspects of the boy's journey or the moral implications of his actions. In some, the antagonist's greed and the consequences of misusing power are more prominently highlighted. The Cranes of Ibycus, Greece. In ancient Greece, there lived a beloved poet named Ibycus. Known for his beautiful verses, Ibycus was journeying to Corinth to attend a large festival. On his way, he was attacked by robbers and, with his dying breath, called out to a flock of cranes flying overhead to avenge his death. Later, at the festival, the cranes appeared again, circling above a group of spectators. Among the crowd, the robbers, stricken by guilt and fear, confessed to their crime, believing that the cranes were agents of divine justice sent to reveal their guilt. Cultural context and variations. This story reflects the ancient Greek belief in divine justice and the power of the gods to influence human affairs. The Greeks often used tales of poetic justice to instill moral values. The cranes, in this story, symbolize a higher moral order watching over humanity. Variations of this tale have appeared in different forms, often used to teach the importance of accountability and the belief that no crime goes unpunished. The Bamboo Cutter and the Moon Child, Japan. In ancient Japan, a bamboo cutter discovers a tiny, radiant princess inside a bamboo stalk. Named Princess Kaguya, she grows into a woman of extraordinary beauty and charm. 5 princes and eventually even the emperor come to seek her hand in marriage. She sets impossible tasks for her suitors which they fail to complete. Ultimately, it's revealed that she is from the moon and must return. Despite the emperor's efforts to keep her, she ascends to the moon, leaving behind a deep, unfulfilled love and a legacy of her time on Earth. Cultural context and variations. This tale, one of Japan's oldest and most celebrated, intertwines themes of impermanence and beauty reflecting the Buddhist concept of mujo, or the transience of life. It also resonates with the Shinto reverence for nature. Variations of the story focus on different aspects of Kaguya's life, but her celestial origin and the poignant theme of her inevitable return to the moon remain constant, embodying the timeless Japanese aesthetic of melancholic beauty. Baba Yaga, Slavic. In the dense forests of Slavic folklore dwells Baba Yaga, a fearsome witch living in a hut standing on chicken legs. She is known for both helping and hindering those who seek her out. One of the most famous tales involves a young girl named Vasilisa, sent to Baba Yaga's hut by her cruel stepmother. Through cleverness and the help of a magical doll, Vasilisa completes the witch's impossible tasks and earns a skull lantern, which ultimately protects her from her stepfamily's malice. Cultural context and variations. Baba Yaga is a complex character in Slavic mythology, embodying the duality of nature, nurturing and destructive. Her stories often serve as cautionary tales about straying into the unknown or dealing with the supernatural. Across Slavic countries, Baba Yaga appears under different names and variations, sometimes more malevolent, other times more ambivalent, reflecting the diverse cultural nuances within Slavic folklore. The singing, soaring lark, Germany, Brothers Grimm. This German tale, collected by the Brothers Grimm, is a variant of Beauty and the Beast. A merchant promises a lion, who is actually an enchanted prince, that he will send the first thing he sees at home in exchange for his life. That first thing turns out to be his youngest daughter. She agrees to live with the lion, who transforms into a prince at night. However, a misunderstanding leads to the prince's further enchantment and separation from her. The young woman embarks on a long, arduous journey, showing resilience and devotion to reunite with her beloved, overcoming trials, and eventually breaking the curse. Cultural context and variations. The story is a classic example of the German romantic fascination with fairy tales, reflecting themes of love, sacrifice, and transformation. The Brothers Grimm collected such tales to preserve Germanic cultural heritage, often adding a moralistic slant. Variants of this story can be found across cultures, each emphasizing different aspects of the struggle and triumph of love against formidable odds, showcasing the universal appeal of such narratives. The Leprechaun and the Pot of Gold, Ireland. In the lush, green hills of Ireland, the legend of the Leprechaun, a mischievous fairy in a green coat, holds a special place. One popular tale tells of a man who cleverly captures a leprechaun and forces him to reveal the location of his pot of gold, usually found at the end of a rainbow. The leprechaun agrees, but tricks the man by using his cunning. He marks the spot with a red cloth, but when the man returns with a shovel, he finds that every bush in the field is marked with a red cloth. The gold remains elusive, teaching a lesson about the folly of greed and the cleverness of leprechauns. Cultural context and variations. Leprechaun tales are an integral part of Irish folklore, often used to impart moral lessons. These stories embody the Irish love for wit and the supernatural. Across various retellings, the leprechaun's trickery and the human's greed are central themes, reflecting the cultural value placed on intelligence and the warning against avarice. Maui and the Sun, Maori, New Zealand. In the rich tapestry of Maori mythology, the demigod Maui is a prominent figure. One famous tale recounts how Maui, displeased with the short days, decides to capture the sun to slow it down. With the help of his brothers, he weaves a magical rope and ensnares the sun, beating it into submission until it agrees to move more slowly across the sky. This heroic feat is celebrated as the reason for the longer days, allowing more time for work and play, and showcasing Maui's ingenuity and bravery. Cultural context and variations. This story reflects the Maori understanding of the natural world and their spiritual connection to it. Maui, as a cultural hero, embodies the qualities of bravery, cleverness, and determination. Variations of this tale across Polynesia highlight different aspects of Maui's character and his adventures, but the theme of man interacting with the gods and nature remains a constant, underlining the cultural significance of harmony between humanity and the natural world. El Sombreron, Guatemala. In Guatemala, The legend of El Sombreron, also known as the Hat Man, is a popular folktale. El Sombreron is a supernatural being known for his obsession with beautiful women and his large, magical sombrero. He serenades women with his guitar, but his attention comes with a curse. The tale often focuses on a young woman who catches El Sombreron's eye. She becomes enchanted, unable to eat or sleep, lost in the sound of his music. Only through clever means and the help of her family can the spell be broken, freeing her from his grasp. Cultural context and variations. This tale is a staple of Guatemalan folklore and reflects themes of love, obsession, and the supernatural. It serves as a cautionary story, warning against the dangers of succumbing to seductive but harmful influences. Different versions of the story can be found throughout Latin America, each adapting the character of El Sombreron to fit local cultural contexts, often using the tale to reinforce social norms and values related to relationships and family. Now let us travel to the land down under, where the rainbow serpent resides. In the heart of Aboriginal Australian mythology, a powerful deity, the rainbow serpent, holds sway. This creature, radiant as a rainbow and mighty as a serpent, is known as a creator deity, a primal being of unimaginable power. The tale tells of how the rainbow serpent rose from the ground, her movements carving out the rivers, the mountains, and the valleys that adorn the earth. She birthed all forms of life, each creature unique, each holding a special place in the grand tapestry of existence. Her story is a profound reminder of our duty to respect and preserve nature. It encourages us to understand that we are but one thread in the intricate web of life, our actions reverberating through the ecosystem. The tale inspires us to live harmoniously with our environment, respecting its laws and rhythms. The rainbow serpent slumbers, but its legacy continues to shape the world. Cultural context. The rainbow serpent is a foundational figure in Aboriginal Australian mythology, symbolizing the creation and shaping of the landscape. This myth varies greatly among different Aboriginal nations, reflecting the diverse environments of Australia. Generally, the rainbow serpent is seen as a powerful and nurturing creator deity, deeply connected to water, land, and life. Variations. In some versions, the rainbow serpent swallows and then regurgitates the ancestors, creating human life. In others, it's responsible for creating rivers, mountains, and waterholes. The story's variations are reflective of the environmental conditions and spiritual beliefs of each Aboriginal group, showcasing the rich diversity within Aboriginal cultures. The Fox and the Stalk, Aesop's Fables, Greece. In one of Aesop's fables, a fox and a stork strike up an unlikely friendship. The fox, known for his cunning, invites the stork to dinner and serves soup in a shallow bowl. The stork, with its long beak, cannot eat, while the fox easily laps up the soup. Realizing the joke, the stork invites the fox to dinner in return and serves food in a narrow-necked jar. The fox, unable to reach the food with his snout, goes hungry, learning a valuable lesson about fairness and empathy. Cultural context and variations. Aesop's fables are a cornerstone of Greek cultural heritage, known for imparting moral lessons through animal characters. This particular story teaches the golden rule of treating others as one wishes to be treated. Across cultures, the story has been adapted with local animals and settings, but the moral remains universal, highlighting the timeless nature of Aesop's tales. Sedna, the goddess of the sea, Inuit mythology. In the icy waters of the Arctic, the Inuit people tell the tale of Sedna, the goddess of the sea. Once a beautiful girl, Sedna was tricked into marrying a bird in disguise. When her father tried to rescue her by boat, a storm caused by the angry bird husband arose. Fearing for his own life, her father threw Sedna overboard. Clinging to the boat, her fingers were chopped off, falling into the sea and transforming into the seals, whales, and other marine animals that the Inuit hunt. Sedna herself sank to the bottom of the ocean, becoming the ruler of the sea and guardian of its creatures. Cultural context and variations. Sedna's story is central to Inuit mythology and reflects the harshness of the Arctic environment. It explains the origin of sea creatures, which are vital to the Inuit way of life. Sedna is revered and feared, believed to control the animals upon which the Inuit depend. Variations of her story exist among different Inuit groups, with some focusing on themes of betrayal and survival, and others on the relationship between humans and the natural world. On Coyote and the Columbia, Native American, Pacific Northwest. In the lore of the Pacific Northwest Native Americans, Coyote is a significant trickster figure. In the tale of Coyote and the Columbia, Coyote travels along the Great River, reshaping the landscape and creating new geographical features. His journey is full of interactions with other creatures and gods, each encounter leaving a mark on the land. The story culminates with Coyote battling monsters to make the world safer for humanity, often using his wit more than his strength. Cultural context and variations. Coyote tales are integral to the folklore of many Native American tribes, especially in the Pacific Northwest. These stories often explain natural phenomena and landscapes, serving as creation myths. The coyote is depicted in various ways, from a wise hero to a cunning trickster, reflecting the complexity of human nature. Different tribes have their own versions of the coyote myths, each tailored to their local geography and cultural values. The legend of Gallet, Wales. In the rolling green hills of Wales, there's a heartbreaking tale of Prince Llewellyn and his faithful hound, Gallet. One day after returning from a hunt, Llewellyn found his baby son's cradle overturned, the nursery in disarray, and Gallet with blood on his muzzle. Believing Gallet had harmed his son, Llewellyn killed the dog. But then he found his son safe under the cradle, alongside a dead wolf that Gallet had slain. Realizing his tragic mistake, Llewellyn buried Gallet with great honor. To this day, a stone monument in the village of Bedgelet serves as a poignant reminder of loyal Gallet's sacrifice. Cultural context and variations. This legend is a significant part of Welsh folklore, encapsulating themes of loyalty, love, and the tragic consequences of hasty actions. While the story's historical authenticity is debated, it serves as a moral tale about the bond between humans and their dogs. Variations of this story appear in other cultures, often with different names and settings, but the core themes of loyalty and the tragic results of misunderstanding remain constant. The Star Maiden, Ojibwe Native American. Among the Ojibwe people of North America, there's a tale of a star maiden who descended from the heavens. Curious about the earth, she came down but was unable to return. A kind family took her in, and she adapted to human life, sharing her celestial knowledge and wisdom. Over time, she fell in love, married, and had children, blessing her new family with a deep spiritual connection to the cosmos. Eventually, she found a way back to her star, but her legacy remained, reminding her earthly family of the bond between the heavens and the earth. Cultural context and variations. This story illustrates the Ojibwe's deep spiritual connection to nature and the cosmos. The Star Maiden symbolizes the interconnection between the celestial and terrestrial realms. In various versions, the focus shifts between her life on Earth, her celestial origin, and the wisdom she imparts. This tale is often used to teach about respect for the natural world and the importance of spiritual harmony. The Princess Who Never Smiled, Russia. In a Russian kingdom, there was a princess who never smiled. Her father, the king, promised her hand in marriage to anyone who could make her laugh. Many tried and failed. One day, a simple, poor peasant took up the challenge. Without intending to, his silly and honest behavior amused the princess, and she laughed for the first time. True to his word, the king gave the peasant the princess's hand in marriage, leading to an unexpected and joyful union. Cultural context and variations. This Russian folktale, often found in Slavic cultures, explores themes of happiness, authenticity, and the unexpected nature of love. The story reflects the cultural value of inner joy and sincerity over wealth and status. Variations of the tale can be found across Slavic folklore, with some emphasizing different aspects of the peasant's character or the princess's transformation. The story often highlights the idea that true happiness comes from within and cannot be forced or fabricated. Tidik the Frog, Aboriginal Australian. In the Australian outback, the Aboriginal people tell the tale of Tidik, a gigantic frog who one day awoke with an unquenchable thirst. As Tidik drank, he swallowed all the water in the land, leaving none for the other creatures. Desperate, the animals tried various ways to make Tidik laugh and release the water. Finally, the eel, Nabunum, danced and wiggled so comically that Tidik laughed, and all the water spilled out, replenishing the rivers, lakes, and billabongs. Tidik's tale teaches the importance of sharing resources and the consequences of greed. Cultural context and variations. Tidik the Frog is a popular story among many Aboriginal groups, reflecting the importance of water in the arid Australian landscape. The tale has been used to explain natural features and the necessity of balance in nature. Variations of the story exist among different Aboriginal cultures, each emphasizing different aspects of the narrative, but consistently highlighting environmental awareness and communal responsibility. We now turn to West Africa, where a cunning spider weaves his web of wisdom. Meet Anansi, a clever spider with a knack for mischief and an insatiable hunger for knowledge. One day, Anansi decided to collect all the wisdom in the world and keep it in a large pot. He thought by doing so, he'd become the wisest creature of them all. His quest for wisdom, however, was fraught with trials and tribulations. The more wisdom he collected, the heavier the pot became. Yet Anansi, blinded by his ambition, persisted. One day, while trying to hide the pot on top of a tall tree, he lost his grip. The pot tumbled down, shattering into 1,000 pieces, and the wisdom trapped inside escaped, spreading back into the world. Anansi could only watch as his precious wisdom floated away. That's when he realized, wisdom isn't something to be hoarded, it's meant to be shared. In the end, Anansi learned that wisdom is not for one, but for all to share. Cultural context. Anansi, the Spider, is a significant figure in West African folklore, and later in the Caribbean folklore, due to the transatlantic slave trade. This tale often teaches about the folly of greed, and the impossibility of holding all the world's wisdom. Anansi's character is a blend of trickster and sage, reflecting the archon belief in balance and the idea that wisdom and folly often go hand in hand. Variations. In different retellings, the details of how Anansi tries to hoard wisdom and the resulting chaos vary. Some emphasize the communal nature of wisdom in African societies, while others focus on the humorous aspects of Anansi's failure. The tale has been adapted into various formats, including children's books and animations, each interpreting the moral lesson differently. How Anansi brought stories to the world. West African. In West Africa, Anansi the Spider is a central character in many tales. One popular story explains how Anansi brought stories to the world. The sky god, Nyame, had all the stories, and Anansi wanted them. Nyame set a price. Anansi must capture 4 dangerous creatures. Using his wits, Anansi trapped the hornets, the python, the leopard, and a fairy no one had ever caught. Impressed, Nyame rewarded Anansi with the stories. From then on, stories were known as spider tales and were shared to entertain, teach, and remember. Cultural context and variations. This tale is part of the rich oral tradition of the Akan people of Ghana and has spread throughout West Africa and the Caribbean. Anansi symbolizes wisdom, creativity, and the ability to turn the tables on the powerful. Variations of this story exist, but its core message about the power of intelligence over brute strength and the origin of stories remains a constant, reflecting the value placed on storytelling and oral history in African cultures. La Llorona, Latin America. La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman, is a haunting tale widespread in Latin America. The story tells of a beautiful woman named Maria who, in a fit of rage and jealousy, drowns her children in a river. Instantly regretting her actions, she drowns herself but is not allowed to enter the afterlife until she finds her children. Her spirit is said to wander near water bodies, weeping and searching for her lost children. Parents often use the tale of La Llorona to discourage children from wandering out at night. Cultural context and variations. This legend is deeply rooted in various Latin American cultures, often serving as a cautionary tale about the responsibilities of love and the dangers of giving in to extreme emotions. The story has numerous regional variations, with some versions focusing on the backstory of Maria and her relationship. The tale reflects the cultural importance of family, the consequences of actions, and supernatural beliefs in spirits and the afterlife. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, United States, written by Washington Irving. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is set in a small valley in New York during the 1790s. It tells the story of Ichabod Crane, a superstitious schoolmaster who competes for the hand of a wealthy farmer's daughter. One night, after a party at the farmer's house, Ichabod rides home and encounters the terrifying specter of the Headless Horseman. The ghostly figure, said to be a headless Hessian soldier, chases Ichabod, who disappears mysteriously, leaving only his hat and a shattered pumpkin behind. Cultural context and variations. Though a piece of American literature, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow has become an integral part of US folklore, embodying themes of superstition, rivalry, and the mysterious. It reflects the early American settlers' fascination with ghost stories and the supernatural. Variations of the story have been adapted into films, TV shows, and other forms of media, often emphasizing the eerie and suspenseful aspects of the tale. Nopperabo, Japan. In Japanese folklore, there's a mysterious creature known as Nopperabo, or faceless ghost. These ghosts appear initially as ordinary human beings. However, when approached, they turn to reveal a blank, smooth surface where their face should be. These encounters are typically non-violent, but leave the observer in a state of shock and fear. One famous story involves a man meeting a woman who turns around to reveal a featureless face, terrifying him. Cultural context and variations. The Nopperabo is part of the rich tapestry of Japanese yokai, supernatural creatures. These tales often serve as cautionary stories about wandering alone at night or speaking to strangers. The Nopperabo in particular represents the fear of the unknown and the uncanny. While the core element of the faceless ghost remains consistent, various stories depict different scenarios where the Nopperabo appears, often tied to specific locations or cultural taboos. The Flying Dutchman, nautical folklore. The Flying Dutchman is a legendary ghost ship doomed to sail the oceans forever. The tale tells of Captain Hendrik van der Decken, who, while trying to round the Cape of Good Hope during a ferocious storm, swore a blasphemous oath that he would press on, even if he had to sail until Judgment Day. The ship and its crew were then cursed to haunt the seas endlessly. Sightings of the spectral ship are said to be an omen of doom for sailors. Cultural context and variations. This nautical myth, emerging from 17th century maritime folklore, reflects the dangers and uncertainties of sea voyages during that era. It serves as a cautionary tale about hubris and disrespecting the forces of nature. The story has been adapted in various cultures, with some versions focusing more on the ghostly aspects, while others emphasize the cursed fate of the captain and his crew. Pontianak, Southeast Asian. In Southeast Asian folklore, particularly in Malay and Indonesian cultures, the Pontianak, or Kuntilanak, is a vengeful spirit of a woman who died during childbirth. She appears as a beautiful woman to lure men, but her true form is terrifying, with sharp claws and a horrifying countenance. She is often associated with the scent of a frangipani flower and is known to haunt specific locations, seeking to exact revenge or cause harm, particularly targeting men. Cultural context and variations. The Pontianak myth reflects deep cultural anxieties about death in childbirth and the treatment of women. It also serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of mistreating women. Variations of the story exist across Southeast Asia, with some focusing on the tragic backstory of the Pontianak, while others highlight her role as a fearsome supernatural entity. The White Lady of Balete Drive, Philippines. In the Philippines, the tale of the White Lady of Balete Drive in Quezon City is a well-known urban legend. It's said that a woman dressed in white haunts this particular street, appearing in the dead of night to unwary drivers and pedestrians. The ghost is believed to be that of a woman who was wrongfully killed and now seeks justice or peace. Accounts describe her as having long hair and wearing a flowing white dress, often causing fright and sometimes vehicular accidents. Cultural context and variations. This modern ghost story is reflective of the Philippines' rich tradition of supernatural tales and belief in spirits. The White Lady motif is common in many cultures, but takes on local significance here, often being linked to historical events or societal issues, such as injustice or violence against women. The tale has evolved over time, with various accounts adding different details or backstories to the White Lady's origin. Lastly, journey to the icy landscapes of Russia, where a fiery bird lights up the sky. In this land of frost and fire, we meet the Firebird, a magical creature of breathtaking beauty. Its feathers burn with a light so bright they can turn night into day. Yet these feathers are a double-edged sword, bringing both fortune and calamity to those who possess them. Enter our hero, the young Prince Ivan. He hears of this mystical bird, and filled with curiosity and bravery, sets out on a quest to capture it. His journey is fraught with challenges and strange encounters. He meets magical creatures, faces daunting trials, and yet he presses on, his heart set on the Firebird. But as he finally captures the Firebird, he is faced with a choice. He could keep the bird, its radiant feathers promising wealth and power, or he could set it free, letting go of the tantalizing allure of fortune. It's a test of character, a moment that reveals the true nature of our young prince. And so, Ivan, with a heart as fiery as the bird he sought, makes his choice. He releases the Firebird, the sky alight with its fiery plumage. In this act of bravery and freedom, he finds his true fortune. So with courage in his heart and the sky ablaze with the Firebird's freedom, Ivan found his fortune. Cultural context. The Firebird is a classic in Russian folklore, embodying themes of quest, destiny, and moral integrity. The Firebird itself is a majestic, mythical creature whose beauty and elusive nature ignite a challenging quest, often leading the characters through trials that test their valor, loyalty, and honesty. The tale reflects the Russian appreciation for magical tales that also serve as moral guides, where the hero's journey is both external and internal. Variations. In different versions, the characters involved and the specific challenges they face vary. Some focus more on the mystical aspects, while others emphasize the moral and ethical dilemmas faced by the protagonists. The story has inspired numerous adaptations in ballet, opera, and visual arts, each bringing a unique perspective to this rich and symbolic tale. As our journey through the realm of global folktales comes to an end, we are left with a tapestry richer and more vibrant than when we began. We've traversed continents and cultures, from the fiery dance of Russia's Firebird to the witty exploits of Anansi in West Africa. Each story, a window into a world both foreign and familiar, reminds us of the power of storytelling in bridging worlds and weaving the human spirit. These tales, passed down through generations, are not mere stories. They are the keepers of wisdom, the whisperers of ancient truths, and the custodians of our shared heritage. As we part ways, let us carry with us the magic of these tales, remembering that within each of us lies the heart of a story waiting to be told. Until we meet again in the timeless embrace of another story, may the wonder of these folktales inspire your path and illuminate your world. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey at TopThangs. We appreciate your support and enthusiasm for our content. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our future adventures and stories. Your feedback and comments mean the world to us, so please share your thoughts and ideas below. They fuel our passion for creating captivating entertainment. As we wrap up today's episode, we hope you're feeling inspired and entertained. Until next time, stay curious, stay amazed, and stay tuned to TopThangs for more mind-blowing experiences. Have a fantastic day, and remember, the world is full of extraordinary wonders waiting to be discovered.